Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle, a former minister of Cameroon, has actually called on Cameroon's main opposition leader, as far as the just ended presidential election is concerned, Issa Tchiroma, that Issa Tchiroma should and must respect the law. According to the former Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle, he says that the presidential election has come to an end and that constitutionally President Paul Biya was declared winner, duly installed and inaugurated on the 6th of November 2025, and thus Minister Issa Tchiroma must also respect state institutions. This comes barely 24 hours after the former Minister of Communication, who had also been the former Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, had actually given a 48 hours ultimatum for the government of Cameroon to release those whom he described as arbitrarily arrested in connection to what he called his victory. Minister Issa Tchiroma in his video reiterated that he is the valid winner of the just ended October 12 presidential election. Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle fired back that Minister Issa Tchiroma should know that he is not the winner and that irrespective of his position which he came during the just ended presidential election, it is President Paul Biya that is the winner, and so Mr. Tchiroma must and should respect the law. Who is Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle? Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle is the director of the CPDM Academy, that is the ruling party academy. In Cameroon, the ruling party has an academy that trains its militants. So Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle is the director of that academy. Ladies and gentlemen, before you come and judge me, note I am reading the news as it is, and I will play you Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle except so that you should hear from Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle. Now you can now leave your comment at the comment section what you think about Professor Elvis Ngolle Ngolle. Watch the video.
President Paul Biya has been officially sworn in.
He is the head of state.
Head of state.
Yes.
Now we have his runners-up. Issa Tchiroma, who came second with 35%, claiming that he won the election. And based on our information, he is also planning a swearing-in ceremony. Can that planned swearing-in by Issa Tchiroma be valid?
Let us be serious. Let us be serious, Bo. First of all, I always want to remind people that when you raise that sort of question before a political scientist, just know that you're going to get a lesson now. I've said it over and over. Cameroon is not the first country to practice democracy. We are actually young at it. Let the 30 million Cameroonians know that democracy is a centuries-old practice or mode of governance and government. And let us not play with it as if to say it's something you buy in Mokoro market or something you do in your tribe or in your church or in your tribal association. I think that this question you've raised, I appeal to 30 million Cameroonians. We are not in propaganda. The election was a democratic election, as it is the case in all democracies. The election is over. Of the 8 million Cameroonians that registered, about 4,600,000 or so voted. And of those 4,600,000 or so who voted, 2,400,000 and almost 2,470,000 voted for President Biya, the candidate of the CPDM. That is the law. That is legitimacy. That is democratic. That is Republican. Nothing to talk about it. Any other person, a candidate, and there were 11 others, did not make it. As a matter of democratic culture, whether you came second or third or fourth or the 12th, if you're a true Democrat, if you are a citizen who is patriotic, if you're a citizen of values, you should respect the people's word. You should respect the people's voice. And above all, you should respect the law. And you should respect the Constitution. If Tchiroma, with all the respect that I have for him, because after all, he's a former colleague, he's a former minister, and obviously he's an elder late person to me, if he doesn't demonstrate the attitude, the behavior, to respect the people's voice, to respect the Constitution, to respect the laws, I'm afraid, I wonder whether he will be referred to as a citizen of faith or a citizen of values. I think that it will be unbecoming of someone with the profile and the background of Mr. Tchiroma or any other, the other candidate, not to respect, not to recognize the people's voice. In fact, I take the opportunity to salute and to appreciate the fact that, let us be very frank, the other leaders of the opposition that took part in the election of the other parties did show their patriotism, did show their respect for values and the laws and the constitution. I mean, I appreciate the fact that leaders such as Honorable Cabral Libby, Honorable Joshua Osi, leaders such as Mr. Bizigi of PAL, Mr. Tangana Dennis of FDC, and others. So far, Mr. Buba Bello is in his gentlemanliness, has not shown any disdain or any lack of respect. But that's we know him as a man of a gentleman. And I think so for the most part, most of the leaders have shown their respect, their recognition, and that is patriotic. That's what patriotism is all about. That is what democratic culture demands. And I think the majority, if you look at the vast majority of Cameroonians, as was reflected in the election results, have shown recognition and respect. That is why you saw in yesterday's oath-taking ceremony or swearing-in ceremony from the National Assembly to the Unity Palace, Cameroonians adhered, Cameroonians hailed, Cameroonians showed a lot of they accompanied. I mean, they showed they were optimistic and they were positive about it. That is all the more reason why I say those young people who have been fooled or who have been orchestrated or who have been manipulated, who have been miseducated or misled to behave otherwise, not to respect it, I think they are in error and they're making a mistake. And my solemn appeal to them is that they should understand that in a democracy, you can't have your cake and eat it. In a democracy, you don't have it all. In a democracy, the people's voice is the law. In a democracy, political parties have no power to manage laws and to apply laws. Heads of political parties, whether they are candidates or not, have no powers to manage or implement laws. It is the institutions of the state, meaning it is the state, through its institutions, that manages and implements laws. And it is the institutions of the state that adopt laws. And it is the institutions of the state that adopt the constitution. And so, if you are a citizen, whether you are a candidate or not, and you don't understand this, and you don't want to abide by that culture, hey, you are not only against democracy, but I think that you are demonstrating lack of patriotism, and you are an element of destabilization who is exposing the state and the future of your state to a mortgage future. You cannot mortgage your future simply because you are not satisfied.
Professor, congratulations. You've passed your GCE or baccalaureate, and now it's time to choose a professional university that opens real doors to your future. Let us introduce you to the African Higher Institute of Technology, a career-focused institution that not only awards internationally recognized certificates, but also guarantees direct employment opportunities upon graduation through its solid network of partner companies and institutions worldwide. This school operates in collaboration with the Cameroon Ministry of Higher Education, UBA Bank, St. Francis Xavier Institute, Canada. Located in Yaoundé, Mendong, away from the noisy town, AHIT provides the following for its students: a free brand new laptop immediately after paying a registration fee of 25,000 francs CFA, free high-speed internet access on campus, hands-on professional training, mentorship from local and international experts, offering courses like local government in accounting, finance and administration, computer engineering, artificial intelligence, biomedical sciences, economics and finance, business and management, arts and education, law and public policy, agricultural sciences. Whether you dream of becoming a software developer, civil engineer, healthcare technician, or business strategist, ICT is your direct path to success. Apply now and take the bold step toward a future of innovation, professionalism, and global opportunity.